Good morning, good people. Today is Thursday. See, I do that Thursday, June 20th, 2024. It's about 6 o'clock in the morning. Here we are at Department of Career Services. My name is Edward Bevilacqua, and we are here. Let's see, I was going to send this to someone. That might be it. There we go. Pause. Share. Message. New message. To boom. There. Okay. Sorry, people. We'll cut that out, right? Okay, so here we are, Department of Career Services. Good morning, Wada Bevy. How is your day? You can't see me? Hello. Oh, there. Hi. Do you have a way to join in the video? Do you have a way to do that? We used to do that at Larson. Blessed. Okay, so let's see. Today is Thursday, and that means not going to Vegas. Not reading that, thinking this. Okay, going to Vegas today, this afternoon. Have things to do, picking up the banner for the table. Yes, good, wonderful, super. Okay, let's get right into it. Today's meme. What's the meme of today? Why do humans control the planet? Why do humans control the planet? Now, if we were just taking the Christian role, it'd be simple. Because God gave it to us to have stewardship over. Okay, right. But we're putting that over here on the side. Because the problem with that is what? Well, if you do the numbers and you say there are about 2.5 billion people who say they're Christian, of that, half or more than half are Catholic. So the other half says, well, you're not really Christian. So now we're down to basically 1/7 of the population says they're Christian. Then you take those people who say they're Christian, and there's at least 200 different versions of Christian. And it works out that 1 in 20 people, about 1 in 20 people in the world fit the category of Christian. So for those people to say, we got it right, you guys got it wrong, God made the earth for man, and that's why we control the planet, because God made it and gave it to us. Okay, cool. So we're looking at it the other way. For all of the people in the world, for all of the almost 8 billion people in the world, why do humans control the planet? So people who don't believe that God gave it to 1/20 of the people in the world. And of course, the problem with that idea is that the 1/20 of the people in the world are really not considered by the rest of the world and even themselves to be that successful. So if you look at an objective standard of the 1 in 20 people who say, yes, I'm an actual Christian, if you look at them and say, how is your life? Is this the life that God intended you to have? It's like, wow, not really. If you look at how people live who are living a life that other people generally think is successful and good, they don't fit the category of Christian. So if Christian was Christian, meaning that subset of those people who identify as Christian, who actually believe they are the people who are properly practicing Christianity, if that lead to better results, it wouldn't be 1 out of 20 people. It would be like 19 out of 20 people or 15 out of 20 people. Okay, so I know that's a rant, but that's just kind of a setup. So we don't get bogged down in people saying, no, you're wrong. Humans control the planet because God gave it to us. Because if you go down that route, once again, you also have the problem of suffering. Suffering. Okay, so God gave us suffering. No, God didn't give us suffering. That's man and free will. Okay, so you get in these circular loops. We're not going down that direction. If that's what you believe, good. Just put it off to the side and maybe bracket and have an idea to learn, well, what do the other 19 out of 20 people in the world think? I don't have to agree with it, but it'd be interesting to know how they think versus having the idea that I don't need to know how they think because I think the right way, their way's wrong. Why waste my time understanding why people who think wrong are what they think? Okay, boom. So that took a lot of time because I do get comments from people who are pastors and that 1/20th of people that I am going the wrong direction. Okay, well, caveat, disclaimer, my interest are the people who are not believers, not preaching to the choir, the non-believers. That is what my interest is, the non-believers. My interest is not dealing with the believers. They already believe they're saved, probably because of Romans 10:9, right? They're saved. 1 John 1:9. I don't need to worry about it. Okay, that's not the focus. These are the people who don't have it. So let's see. The field marshal has arrived. Good morning, Matt. And he is a Grand Admiral. Grand Admiral of his bathtub. Okay, cool. Good. Glad to hear everything is good, Matt. So let's get down to Yuval Harari. Why do humans control the planet? Right. Okay, so Yuval Harari is kind of like Johann Hari, kind of like Jordan Peterson, kind of like Daniel Amen, that they are recognized as kind of like the experts in their field. Yuval Harari is one of those superstar kind of guys right now. Highly respected. And so he starts by saying 75,000 years ago, human beings were no more significant than jellyfish to the world. We're just another life form in the world. Human beings were not special. And he says, in fact, if you take us on an individual level and you put us on a deserted island, us and the chimpanzee, as he would say, chimpanzee, who will do better? Probably, almost certainly, the chimpanzee. Or you have 5 humans and 5 chimpanzees, who will do better? Probably the 5 chimpanzees. But if you put 100 humans versus 100 chimpanzees, on the one hand, the humans are able to do fantastic things, and for the chimpanzees, it's utter chaos. Or you take it to the extreme of you fill Wembley Stadium with chimpanzees, or you fill the Wembley Stadium with humans, and with the humans, you get very sophisticated behavior. With the chimpanzees, it's just absolute total chaos. So he asked the question, what is it that makes human beings different? Because on an individual level, we're not really that special. And the answer is what? What is the answer, Wadabebi? I'm anxious to talk to you after this thing. The answer is that only humans can cooperate flexibly in large numbers. You have some animals that can cooperate flexibly, but it's only in small numbers, like social mammals. And you have other animals that can cooperate inflexibly in large numbers. So it's flexibly in small or inflexibly in large. So bees, ants, they can cooperate in large numbers, but inflexibly. They can't change how they do things. They do it one way. It's a very rigid structure. Humans are the only animals that can do both. They can cooperate flexibly in extremely large numbers. So Yuval Harari asked the question, well, how is it that humans can cooperate flexibly in large numbers? What is it about humans that enables us to do that? And he would say, we alone are able to invent stories. And if we invent stories and believe the story, we can cooperate flexibly in large numbers. So we invent stories. So one example would be money. If this green piece of cloth, if you think it's worth a banana, and we all agree that it's worth a banana, now I can go to a complete stranger, give them a basically worthless piece of cloth, and they'll give me a banana. Because we all agreed it has that. Now you can do an experiment. You can walk in with a Russian ruble or whatever the equivalent of $1 would be. You go into a store with a piece of paper and say, I want a banana. They're going to say no, because that particular colored piece of paper, we don't consider it's worth $1 or worth a banana. Now, maybe the guy behind the counter says, well, it is to me, so I'll take it, I'll put it in my pocket and take a green one out and put it in the cash register. That's a little bit different. That's a subjective thing, but objectively, so money would be one thing. Country is another thing. Human rights, another thing. So he gives the example. You can cut open a body and you'll see neurons and organs and bones and cartilage, but one thing you won't find are human rights. That is something we invented. And if we all believe that human rights are important and good and special, we can cooperate. And then he said it goes to the negative too. Prisons are another example of a story that we've invented, that bad people need to get locked up. And if we all believe that, we can cooperate flexibly to build, manage, maintain prisons. Okay. Now we go to the next question. Why is it only humans can invent stories? And this is kind of where Yuval Harari ends it, and we're going to pick up with Susanna Herculano. So Yuval Harari says only humans can create stories because only humans have the ability to think in a dual reality. So there's objective reality, which all creatures have. A river is a river, a mountain is a mountain, a lion is a lion. But humans have the ability to have what he calls subjective reality or fictional reality, where we can say a mountain is beautiful or a mountain is scary. The sunset isn't just it getting darker outside. We can go hand in hand together and just look at the sunset and feel good. So only humans are able to do it. You'll never see two chimpanzees walking off hand in hand to go look at the sunset. They just won't do it. And Yuval Harari leaves it at that point because his message was the ability to create stories. And our brains are really, really good at believing in stories. That's kind of the problem. We are not skeptical enough. We will believe things that there's no reason for us to believe them, but we'll believe them anyway. So what do we do about that? Gullible, right, stories, right. So we have to be ever vigilant to make sure that the story is actually an objective truth, or if it's not an objective truth, it leads to better behavior. I was listening to a Huberman thing this morning about willpower and how do you get people to do stuff, growth mindset. And the idea is you reward effort, not outcome. You don't say to people, God, you're really smart, Because when you say to people, God, you're really smart, over time, they want to demonstrate smartness. And so they'll stop doing hard things that they could not succeed at quickly. And they might lie on how they did. Whereas if you reward effort, man, you are persistent. You never give up. I like how you go about figuring out how to solve that problem. If you reward that, people will look for more challenging things and they'll stick with it. They won't quit when they think, oh, I'm not going to be able to solve this. If I don't solve this, people are going to think I'm not smart. But I want people to think I'm smart, so I can't get involved in things that don't make me look smart. Versus the guy who says, I'm somebody who can I'm like MacGyver. I can solve any problem with my utility knife. Just leave me with my utility knife and I will figure it out. A guy like that is going to look for ever more difficult challenges because he's going to want to prove he's different from other people. So, okay, now let's switch over. So Yuval Harari leaves it that only humans are able to think in a dual reality. There's the objective reality, the thing is the thing, the cup is the cup. And then there's the subjective thing is, this is the thing that enables me to get started in the morning because I put some hot fluid in there, I drink the hot fluid, and now my day is properly started. I can get going. The release of neurotransmitters. Okay, so Susanna Herculano picks it up at the next level and says, well, why is it that humans are able to think in a dual reality and no other animals appear to be able to do that? And so she says it's neurons, especially in the prefrontal cortex. It's neurons. And so she went about figuring out how many neurons humans have versus other animals. And she figured out a clever way to count neurons in brains, which is not important for us here. And then she went about charting different number of neurons all the way from a worm, say C. elegans, with I think it's 700 neurons, to humans that have 86 billion neurons and 700 neurons with 23 connections on each one, to 86 billion with 10,000 connections on each neuron. So she went about doing that, and that charted very well. And then it got to be there's this gap that humans are here, only humans can think in a dual reality world, therefore it's neurons. Next, though, Susanna Herculano takes it down another level to, well, why is it that humans have more neurons? And again, our Christian friends are going to say, because God did that. But the fossil record, and especially around burn pits, fire pits, shows something different. And they show that as people cooked their food, the brain grew. We got more neurons because we cooked our food. But it wasn't just because we cooked our food, because it wasn't anything in the food. It was the fact that we could get all the calories we needed in a very short period of time. And by getting all the calories we need in a very short period of time, that means we have more time to do more things. Like what? Like what? What more things could we do? Anybody want to take a shot at it? It's pretty simple. Solve problems. So the human brain evolved to solve problems. And we're very good. So here's a little hack off to the side. We're really, really good at solving problems, but you have to turn the thing into a question. You can't just say, this sucks. It's like, how do I get out of this suck? How do I change the course of this thing? But we're now at 19 minutes in. I got to get on the peloton. Thank you, everyone, for being there. Wada Bevy, can I give you a call in about 10 minutes or so? Probably need to send me a text because I have to say Shiva Sin Shalom, people. Shiva